Wow, this is so exciting. Inside the new boat. CNN, yeah, that's right. Canadian Naval News.
Yeah, exactly.
Here's the hull mold for our new boat, all shiny and waxed and ready to start laying the hull. It might seem strange, but the first part of the boat to be built is the dark blue trim stripe, painted onto the green of the mold, followed by the white gel coat that will be the outside of the hull. The white gel doesn't have to be perfectly smooth, since it's the outside layer we'll see when the hull comes out of the mold when the layup is finished. So we're working inwards as we add more and more to the hull. Next, many layers of fiberglass are laid up on top of the gel coat and according to the schedule engineered to provide the strength of the hull. Next comes reinforcement, in this case structural foam core to stiffen the hull above the waterline. The foam is put in place, then vacuum tubes apply pressure to bond it in with resin to the outer skin. The keel box has been built separately, and next it's bonded in place. We've been watching all this progress over the past few weeks from photos and videos sent from the factory in England. Now we get to make a visit and see her for ourselves for the first time. CNN, yeah, that's right. Canadian Naval News.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, this is pretty exciting. Maciek here is busy laying up the new boat. They're just showing me around. You see some nice new strong ribs going in. This is the keel. Holy crap, that's solid. Yeah, that is the keel housing. So the way the keel comes up inside this part in the boat. How about this? This is the new keel. Man, these things are solid. So this is the keel for our new boat. It's just arrived from the foundry. So the keel bolts up underneath the bottom of the boat, and everything in here is in the water. So the hull actually comes up around the keel, as you saw inside. And this massive, this is all solid cast iron, and it's mammothly strong. The pivot that holds the swinging keel in place, and the way it lifts. These guys are doing a great job. They do a very nice layup on the hull here. Very clean glassing work. It's a big boat inside. This is only 48 feet long, but it feels like, to me, it feels like a 60 when the boat doesn't have the interior in yet. And see all these sort of beams and everything? This is how the strength is added to the boat. So there's the hull itself, and then the beams are all made out of structural engineered foam. And then the new layup will go inside. It gives it a lot of extra strength. So for the structural strength with a boat like this, you have these massive beams that are built out of fiberglass. You don't want to put anything that'll rot in here, so you have a central foam core that gives it the shape, and then structural glass on top of this brings the strength into this huge beam structure, and the longitudinal beams, and then the ribs done with the fiberglass on top. You can see one here where they're just getting started on it. So a beam's going in that's a different angle, so they're just adding that one in now. So we're here at Discovery Yachts. We want to take a look. We're coming to the boat show, but of course, the real reason I think we came over was so we could get a look at the new boat in construction.
Yeah.
Distant Shores 3. So we've seen the hull. I'll show you around that, and then we're going to see the deck. And the deck is still a plug, so they're working on the plug because it's a totally new design for this deck. And the neatest way to do that is to be able to build the plug where you can actually see it in real life. So let's see if we can go in here. Is that open? Ooh.
Wow, look at that. Exciting.
What you do when you make a fiberglass boat is you want to build a plug, and then the plug you use to build the mold. And the plug can be done all on the computer, but then you can't really see it to understand what you've got. In this case, when they finish building the plug in another week or so, you can actually wander around on it and take a look and see how the winches work, how the whole thing feels.
And the main difference with this new cabin top is that it will be a true pilot house. We, as you know, love southerly yachts, but the one thing we really wish was that we could steer from below a little better. So the new Southerly 480 will be pilot house.
Remember, they're building a plug, which will look like the deck, and when perfected, the mold will be built from this. Then our finished deck, the first to be made from the mold. We're beta testing. We're pioneers, not guinea pig. I don't like guinea pig. How long do you think until it's another week or so?
Yeah, possibly, yeah.
Possibly a week?
How long have you been working on it?
Oh, it's been working a few weeks already. Yeah. Basically, it's just a design stage, so.
It's still in design, yeah. Yeah, this is the fun part about building a plug manually instead of having it all cut on the computer when you want to make changes as they sort of see how it all fits and how it all works. You can really sit down and take a look at it if you don't mind getting dust on your butt. So like here's a big question. We've raised the cabin top for this model. So with the raised cabin top, can you still sit and still see forward? So I can't see the bow, but I can see forward. I can see the bow. See the bow, no problem. And there's even going to be teak on top of this. It looks kind of like you could say an older fashioned method of doing it instead of molding the hull all in one big computer cutting. But the plus when you're doing something new is you can make sure it all works. So like if you're going to, how does it go when you try to winch the winches? So you have a model, you can sit here and just winch the winch. The second winch is going to be there. Looking great. While we're in England, we also go to the Southampton boat show to see what's interesting and meet up with plenty of people who follow the show. And it's a week later, we return to the factory in time to see Distant Shores 3 emerging from the mold. With the mold parts unbolted, the release wax allows them to be pulled off. The hull is suspended from the crane and the main mold sides pulled apart, and there she is.
We're going to raise the hull up and then shift the remote that side of the mould out across and then pull it out the way, and then we'll do the same with this side.
Oh my goodness. The new hull has just come out of the mold. Getting a look at her here for the first time. It's a few days later when the remaining bulkheads are being added to the hull. They must be very precisely located, as the rest of the interior will depend on their exact position. You watched our video yesterday?
Yeah.
That's cool. The bulkheads have been cut out to the right size by computer, which also scribed on datum points and the designed waterline, DWL.
The centre line here, so that's 1,000 millimetres or a metre from here to the centre line. And that'll position us.
Final fitting is now done to the precise size and the exact position determined by laser. The scribed line will match the laser when they drop the bulkhead by about an inch. So that's exact, been calculated exactly?
Yeah, so again, it's on, spin it all the way around the bulkheads there.
Oh, look at that. Right, I'm in the way.
If I stand out your way as well, you can see it.
That's it for this update, and we're flying home. I wish we could stay and see more of the progress on our new boat, but we're planning another quick visit in November. We're going to be sailing this catamaran across the Atlantic from the Canary Islands to St. Lucia, which we'll be filming as well. Please give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed this, and don't forget to subscribe for upcoming videos.